So, Rahu in the 6th house, Ketu in the 12th house, we have this interesting axis, these two what are called Dushtana houses. Rahu in the 6th house will obsess over the hard work of the world and be very focused on trying to take matters into our own hands. And Ketu in the 12th house shows that there's a paradigm of loss where we realize that unless we do that, things could be difficult, that we might lose things. It's one of the more constructive placements because, for one thing, it's in that difficult axis where there can be problems anyway. And Rahu in the 6th especially will be very focused on life's problems. Ketu in the 12th will be very much about connecting with that deeper metaphysical plane. So again, when Ketu is in the 12th house, perhaps the person was adopted, or they lost parents, or they had a very kind of confusing childhood where they weren't cared for very well, or they were meant to feel like they weren't present or visible or something. So Rahu in the 6th house, and they're going to rebel against that and understand that if you just let everything take care of itself, there's chaos and there's danger and there's problems. So you need to stay on top of all the problems in life. Now, it can also be a pretty unpleasant placement at times because the person is worried about all of the hard work and stress of the world. This is the thing to understand about the 6-12 axis. The 6th house comes after the 5th house, and the 5th house, as we said, is about creativity. It's about children, for instance. Children create a lot of work. We got to change the diapers, we got to take care of them, we got to spend our money on them, we got to feed them, we got to sacrifice constantly for children. But we sacrifice for the things we love. But the 6th house is all of that sacrifice and hard work. We don't love everything as much as we love our children. In fact, most things we don't love that much. And because we have these splits in our personality where we have these things that we love and that we're willing to work hard for, which are very small, and then everything else, which feels like unpleasantness and difficulty when we have to work on it, the 6th house creates that problem. All the unpleasantness of the world, paying our bills, cleaning up all of the messes, all of the effort that it takes to get along with people is 6th house. So when Rahu's in the 6th, the person is like obsessed with that. They kind of tend to see things that way because there's a fear and there's a worry that if they don't, they're going to lose again. Those losses that they're conditioned to feel will come and get them. Again, because as we say, wherever Ketu is, there's a conditioning around that thing. Like, they're conditioned to expect that unless you stay on top of all the problems, there's going to be loss. Again, maybe they had parents who didn't pay attention to them. There was neglect. They lived in a foreign country. Again, maybe because when you're in a foreign country, you're kind of out of your element all the time and you feel vulnerable or you just feel kind of confused. And so, again, in many ways, the Ketu in the 12th is a very good placement for Ketu because Ketu is the indicator of the 12th house. It's actually about letting go and surrender. This is really what Ketu is about. That's why it says withdrawal. Ketu is a withdrawal from things because it feels emotionally difficult to us because of a painful experience, like I've been describing. When Ketu is in the 12th house, there's a withdrawal literally from the world. Whereas, let's say, if it's in the 7th house, it's a withdrawal from people. That can be hard. Withdrawal from all the pressures of the world. That's what the 12th house is, and that's good. So it can be quite powerful for meditation and spirituality and things like that. Rahu in the 6th, again, is where we become obsessed with the work of the world. So it's good for that because the world requires our effort and attention. But we need to unite this obsessive, worrisome nature of Rahu in the 6th with this understanding of the bigger picture and that it'll all work out, which is seen by Ketu in the 12th. So we need to make sure to manage the fears and the stress of the 6th house of Rahu in the 6th if we're going to get to a deeper unification of this axis and really show the promise of Ketu in the 12th so that we can stay connected with that metaphysical reality that Ketu in the 12th shows.